After 40, we know ourselves better than ever. Many women have lived full lives, careers, friendships, experiences, heartbreaks. They've built independence, resilience, and wisdom. Yet, despite all of this, love often feels elusive. Not because men don't want connection, not because women aren't worthy, but because something subtle stands in the way, a hidden psychological pattern known as the vulnerability trap. It's a quiet sabotage, a trap disguised as strength. Vulnerability, when misused, it doesn't feel dangerous, it feels brave. But over time, it silently pulls love apart. This trap doesn't announce itself loudly, it whispers. It hides behind pride, behind polished independence, behind the stories we tell ourselves to stay safe. But safety isn't intimacy, and protection isn't partnership. What shields the heart also isolates it, until the armor becomes the prison. In this video, we'll explore 10 ways the vulnerability trap silently sabotages love after 40. These aren't big dramatic mistakes. They're quiet patterns that build walls where bridges should be. If you've ever felt like opening up actually pushed someone away, or left you feeling more alone, this is for you. If this threads resonate with you, please subscribe to my channel Psyche Threads for more video every day. Thank you for being here. Let's begin. Segment 1. The armor of independence. Independence is admirable. It reflects resilience, discipline, and the ability to stand on one's own. But when independence hardens into armor, it blocks intimacy. Many women over 40 have built lives where they don't need anyone, financially, emotionally, or socially. Yet men don't want to feel unnecessary, they want to feel chosen. The trap is subtle, projecting independence so strongly that it communicates, "I don't need you." What begins as empowerment ends as isolation. True strength is not in rejecting help, but in allowing partnership. Independence should be a foundation, not a fortress. The healthiest relationships are built when independence and interdependence coexist. When a woman can stand alone, but also allow someone to stand beside her. Segment 2. The fear of rejection. Rejection is painful, and by 40, most women have experienced it many times. The trap is believing that the best way to avoid rejection is to never open up. Walls go up, vulnerability shuts down, and intimacy becomes impossible. But here's the paradox. The very act of protecting against rejection ensures no one gets close enough to choose you. Men sense the wall, they feel the distance, and they move on. Facing rejection is painful, but it's also liberating, because rejection isn't proof of unworthiness, it's proof of courage. Every no is simply redirection toward the right yes. The women who embrace rejection as part of the process discover that vulnerability is the only path to authentic connection. Segment 3. The pride in not needing love. I don't need a man. It's a phrase that feels empowering, especially in a culture that celebrates independence. But in reality, it signals emotional unavailability. Men interpret it as rejection before connection even begins. The trap here is pride. Pretending not to need love doesn't protect you, it isolates you. True empowerment isn't denying desire. It's admitting it, and becoming someone worth choosing. Men want love, partnership, peace. They want to choose women, but they can only choose someone who allows herself to be chosen. Vulnerability means acknowledging that love is wanted, even if it feels risky. Pride builds walls, humility builds bridges. The women who embrace their desire for connection discover that needing love isn't weakness, it's humanity. Segment 4. The defensive reflex. Feedback is uncomfortable, especially when it comes from men. The trap is dismissing all male feedback as gaslighting, criticism, or manipulation. This defensive reflex blocks growth. It prevents self-reflection, and it keeps patterns unexamined. Mature men notice this quickly. They don't want warfare, they want warmth. Accountability isn't cruelty, it's kindness. It's the mirror that shows flaws but also shows the path to fixing them. Without accountability, change is impossible. With it, transformation begins. The defensive reflex may feel protective, but it actually prevents intimacy. Men don't expect perfection. They expect openness. The women who learn to pause, reflect, and consider feedback, even when it stings, discover that accountability is the gateway to growth. Segment 5. The blame loop. Years of failed relationships can create a narrative. Men are the problem. The trap is living inside that blame loop. Blame feels safe. It absolves responsibility, but it also blocks change. Because if men are always the problem, then nothing can ever improve. The truth is harder, but freeing. Sometimes the common denominator is us. And when we admit that, we unlock the power to change outcomes. Blame keeps women stuck. Responsibility sets them free. The women who break the blame loop discover that accountability isn't about shame. It's about empowerment. By shifting from men are the problem to what can I do differently, they reclaim control over their romantic destiny. Segment 6. Vulnerability equal to weakness. Many women equate vulnerability with weakness. The trap is believing that showing emotion, admitting fear, or expressing need makes you fragile. In reality, vulnerability is the bridge to intimacy. It's the doorway to connection. Men don't bond with perfection, they bond with humanity. Walls may protect against pain, but they also protect against love. Vulnerability isn't weakness, it's strength. It's the courage to be seen fully, flaws and all. The women who embrace vulnerability discover that it doesn't diminish them, it magnifies them. Because vulnerability invites trust, and trust is the foundation of love. Segment 7. The comparison trap. Comparison is poison. Women over 40 often compare themselves to younger women or to friends who got lucky in love. The trap is bitterness. Comparison fuels insecurity. It sabotages confidence, and confidence is magnetic. Men aren't looking for the youngest woman, they're looking for the most authentic one. Comparison steals authenticity. Self-acceptance restores it. The only competition is with yesterday's self. The women who escape the comparison trap discover that confidence, joy, and authenticity are far more attractive than youth. Segment 8. The urgency signal. Wanting marriage or children urgently is natural, but urgency radiates desperation. Men sense pressure rather than partnership. The trap is signaling urgency so strongly that it overshadows connection. Relationships built on pressure rarely last. The solution isn't to deny desire, it's to balance it with patience, to let love grow organically. Urgency repels. Calm confidence attracts. The women who learn to manage urgency discover that love flourishes when it's nurtured, not forced. Segment 9. The comfort addiction. Comfort feels safe. Netflix, wine, routine. They numb the ache of loneliness. But comfort can become addiction. The trap is choosing comfort over growth. Staying in routines that feel safe but keep women stuck. Growth requires discomfort. It requires courage. It requires facing fears. Comfort may soothe temporarily, but it sabotages long-term fulfillment. The choice is between temporary ease and lasting transformation. The women who break free from comfort addiction discover that courage, not comfort, is the path to love. Segment 10. The accountability allergy. The hardest truth is that many women resist accountability. Feminist peer groups discourage self-reflection. Any suggestion of change is labeled victim blaming. Any male feedback is dismissed as gaslighting. The trap is rejecting accountability entirely. But accountability isn't cruelty, it's kindness. It's the mirror that shows flaws, but also shows the path to fixing them. Without accountability, women stay stuck. With it, they find freedom. Accountability is the turning point. The women who embrace it discover that responsibility isn't punishment, it's empowerment. Closing reflection. The deepest fear women over 40 face isn't rejection, judgment, or even loneliness. It's the realization that they had the power to change their outcomes all along, but chose comfort over growth, ideology over reality, blame over responsibility. That's the terror, that it was always fixable, but they chose to stay broken. And yet, that same truth is also the path to freedom, because once you admit it, you can change it. And once you change it, everything changes. The protective threads can be unwoven, the connection threads can be rewoven, and authentic love, or peaceful singleness, can finally emerge. The vulnerability trap is powerful, but it's not permanent. The moment a woman admits, "Maybe I'm the reason I'm single," she unlocks the possibility of transformation. That admission hurts, but it also liberates. Because what you admit, you can change. And what you change, changes everything.